Welcome back to the episode. This is a great start. I haven't messed up once trying to do this. But, as you saw in the time lapse, we have the frame of an island. It still needs some work, but I figure it's better than nothing. I do want to get into the habit of, or I want to just finish this, that way I can start doing all the puzzles and all the environment that's going on top of the island, because I feel like that's going to be more fun. But yeah, I figured today we can continue working on this. I might have an idea that could possibly pop up later in the video, and we'll see where this goes. Okay, so during the clip, I made this sheep farm so I can get wool, and I've been letting it run for a little while now. I have a good amount, and my plan was to head over to the Christmas area to make some presents and maybe some candy canes at the Christmas area to, contribute. I don't really know what the plan is, but I figure I would do something. So here we are in Christmas Town. I've already made a couple candy canes and presents just along this path I think that we're going to have. I don't really know the plan for the area. I'm pretty sure this is our Christmas tree, possibly. And it looks like someone has a building over here. So apart from these things, I just have a couple presents and candy canes just in the area. Like it starts giving it that Christmas vibe, but yeah. I feel like this was a nice tiny break from the island, which right now there is an update I'd like to do with that now, so let's jump to it. And here we are. So as you can see, I've done work on the island. Didn't feel like it was too important to time lapse, but I got all the bottom filled out at least, and this is just one step closer to actually making the island and getting to the puzzles and the storyline for it, which storyline currently is looking pretty well. But for the most part, I think I did pretty well on trying to make it more smooth. There's some areas that I didn't really touch out, but for the most part, it's all rounded, which is, in my opinion, slightly better than my first one that I did without really knowing what I was doing. So I'm definitely improving, and yeah, hopefully you guys can catch me in my live streams, because I'm definitely going to be trying to do more live streams and working on the island to just get the story going. But this has just been a couple days since my last couple clips, so yeah. Okay, so my recording has just dropped out all of my audio, but I would like to say I've have basically forgotten to record a good amount since my last very clip. And so you're gonna see things that I've worked on off camera forgetting to record. And so what I basically started doing was the path and then trying to make some of the cliffs to connect to the path to get an idea of how it will look. So, and then there's also this giant plateau that I wanted as where the final puzzle will be. And so you will also see all these like 2-pillar white pillars of wool. That's like main locations. And there's also that cave which the path will go down. But the path, I wanted it to be windy like you saw in the little template I originally had. And so this winds up going up to Mumbo's place. And there's just a lot of things that I have planned, but trying to tackle everything all at once is a bit difficult. And so I'm trying to handle doing things. In this recording, I'm probably talking about how I want to get this little section done. I thought I figured to get an idea of how I would want the landscape to be, and there will be a time lapse of finishing this tiny area, but in the most part, like, this will be where the final puzzle is. That other area that we're just in is going to be Impulse or Tango. So there's going to be, the puzzle is going to be underground. A lot of these puzzles will be underground. That way it's easier to hide. But apart from that, just getting this path done, it was just elevating, putting coarse dirt on the sides, and then just doing lines basically to where I would kind of want some of these locations to be. But this is more getting like the scale of height. Then for this part, this is where the path will go down to go to one of the other islands. And so it kind of goes down into a cave, which will have like a door that will block the players, which would make them have to interact with this island and have to solve the puzzles to be able to open the door. And then they would just go out and go to the other island. But with all of that, like, I'm trying to get just a feeling. I seem to tend to like doing the recording or building off camera, so that is definitely something I'm trying to get better at, is filming or recording my progress while I'm recording, even if I'm not, used to it. But one thing that I might do is under my island, I have my terracotta farm that I've been gathering while I was making this island. And it's a decent speed. It's been creating my terracotta, but with me not being in this area, it's actually becoming slower because of the steam engine not getting any terracotta. So this is actually pretty slow right now. But I was thinking of moving it into my island, that way it's being passive, and seeing how that will work. So I might just jump here in a bit to me actually having the island made, or the terracotta farm made. Here we have a very basic terracotta. It's not like the one under the island, but for the most part, it's decent. We got everything that was over there, except it's not steam powered. It's water wheeled, so it is definitely slow. It's very passive. It's just some tiny workarounds I did. Um, I mean, for the most part, it is basically my previous farm, but it's just slow. I might increase it between episodes to make it faster, but for the most part, I feel like this would be fine since I'm just gonna be spending time here. So, and at some point, I'm not gonna need so much terracotta, so I might just make this into a shop. But I mean, apart from that, it's a pretty similar design to what I originally had. The only difference is being the sand going up. But what I'm going to do is do a tiny time lapse of finishing the tiny or the area that I was working on earlier, and yeah, let's jump to it. Okay, and now we are back from that time lapse. As you can see, I got a good majority of it, and it it's just looking low plane. Which in the future I'm going to add layers and other, like this will be a location, so there'd be definitely other things that will be a part of this area. But in the time lapse near the end, it actually started snowing because it became winter. So I stopped the time lapse there because it was just gonna be annoying to see a bunch of snow. As you can see, that's just around. It just gets everywhere, and I personally don't like working on when it's winter. But the time lapse, I'm I'm having some issues with it because it just cuts out like a good amount of the work. So I might switch to something else, or I just might stop doing time lapses. But oh, I forgot this part. That so I'm going to quickly fill this up. But for the most part, this is going to be taking a lot of zinc, which I might have to do some mining off camera and just be able to get more of these copycat plots, because it's very easy, or since terracotta doesn't have a slab or stairs, just having copycat plots definitely helps give that sloped feeling, even if it isn't. the coarse dirt did have some, but I have had this machine running, so for the most part, I'm going just to be placed or building here while letting that slowly get better. But for the most part, I'm liking how this is going. There's just a lot that is happening with holidays being just around the corner and just a lot of things. It's going to be very difficult trying to figure out what a good balance is because, like I said, this is all me trying to get into the habit of recording and maybe streaming. I don't really know what the plan is currently, but I figured just trying some small things out and see how it goes. So I want it's like I don't want you guys to expect that I'm gonna be making an episode every week because I honestly don't know what my schedule is. But yeah, apart from that, I think what I might do is just do some kind of work here and there, like this detail work. I might just do off camera, but then like on camera, I do bigger portions. But I might have to switch around the like time lapse because the one I currently have does not really work well. So apart from that, I'm liking how this is going so far. It has been a while since episode 1, so yeah, there is that. So with all of that, I think I might just end the episode here. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Feel free to subscribe, leave any comments of suggestions or whatever, and yeah, see you next time.